Let's dive into those two position groups. I know you've studied them extensively. Who do you like wide receivers at the top?
Let's start with Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Oh, I give him a lot of credit. The jump he took between last year and this year was pretty big, just in terms of being more technically proficient with his route running, his ability to set up coverage, snap off routes. But at the same time, he can win vertically, and he's a ball winner. So I'm eager to see what he runs here, because you don't watch him and say, oh wow, that's a burner, or he's not a sprinter. But his strides are so long, he eats up grass so quickly that before you know it, he's over top coverages and giving his quarterback a target downfield. Wins in contested situations. So I think there's a lot of reasons to point to him and say, all right, that's who's going to make this Browns team better. That's what's going to give them what they're missing on the perimeter. They just don't have weapons on the outside that teams are going to respect. And so adding a player like Tate, I think, changes the math a little bit.
Is there any concern at all with Tate specifically? Because Jeremiah Smith plays on the other side, and he'd be number one pick in the last couple of drafts, probably. Is that a concern?
No, I mean, you can't hold it against him that he happened to be playing with a generational type of wide receiver. Now, at the same time, I think it's fair to talk about that, because the gravitational pull that Jeremiah Smith gets from coverage gives Tate some one-on-one matchups and some more favorable spots to go make plays. But I can turn on the tape and Wisconsin, or and he's making plays over double coverage, and he's still doing his thing regardless of what else is happening around him. So I don't know. Ohio State, they just know how to crank those guys out.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Does that really factor into it? That's Brian Hartline's.
Sure.
That's his calling card that got him the gig at Southern Florida.
Whether or not it should, I think it does. I mean, consciously or subconsciously, it's something that from the fan base and also for the front office, we're getting an Ohio State receiver that gives you a little bit of a sense of, okay, we're getting a pro. We're getting a guy that's going to translate well and going to help us be a better football team.
After him, it's typically Tyson and Lemon. Is that how you have it as well?
So I reported last night that Tyson won't be here at the Combine. Well, he'll be here, but he's not working out because of the hamstring. And so how does that affect him in the order of these receivers? And he's different than Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon, what he gives you is a little bit different. So it depends what you're looking for. Lemon is he's so tough through contact. He's not a slot-only player, but he's best in the slot, where let him manipulate the middle of the field. He's so efficient going from catcher to runner, so he can be a yak player. There's just a lot to like about the football player, regardless of what he weighs in at, regardless of what he runs here. He's a good football player. So Mekhi Lemon, I think, he's right there.
When I saw he's 5'11", he plays a lot. That surprised me. I think he plays bigger. Is that fair?
Yes, and I think that it's very similar to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the way that he gets open, the way that he dominates the catch point, and the way that he can work after the catch. That's what you like about Mekhi Lemon, even if it's not the prototypical size and speed for what you typically want a top 15 receiver.
After that, say they don't go at 6. Say they go 24 second round. Who are some guys in that range that make sense that you like, that you think are players?
Well, I mean, and it depends on what kind of receiver they want, right? If they want that true X, Denzel Boston from Washington, that 6'3.5", 215-pound body, catches the ball well. Not going to create a ton of separation, but he's a commanding presence on the outside, which they don't have right now, the Browns. If they are a little more open to a slot or a Z, then you're talking about Omar Cooper Jr., Indiana, KC Concepcion, A&M. Both of those players could be in the mix there at that point. So I think it presents this team, if they want to come away with a receiver in the first round, it presents this team and Andrew Berry and these head decision makers with a debate about, okay, do we take Tate at 6 and feel good about him being, plugging him in at the Z and we've got a playmaker moving forward, or do we feel better getting the tackle and then waiting the 24 and still feeling good about those players? I think there is a debate either way about which way to go.